Good morning once again. Today we are going to solve question on rigid motion. So the first question says, using a scale of 2 centimeters to 2 units on both axes, we are to draw on a graph sheet two perpendicular axes OX and OY for this interval. So it means the x is from -10, x is greater or equal to -10 and less or equal to +10, and y is also the same. So here you go to your graph book. So you take your graph sheet, you'll be using graph, so things will be easier. Then you can even use your rule to measure. You can see that the bolded line, there are small lines, and you can see some of the lines are bolded. The one that are bolded, you can see if you measure, you see they are 2 centimeters each. So they are saying for every 2 centimeters, give it 2 units. So for this 2 centimeters, give it 2 units. If you add 2 to this, you get 4, 6, 8, 10. Then when you get to the negative axis, you have -2, -4, -6, -8, -10. So don't forget, the vertical is this is what the y axis, and this horizontal one is the x what axis. Okay, so we are saying we should draw this point. Draw ABC with vertices. A is what 2, 8, B is 2, 4, C is 8, 4, and D is 8, 8. So anytime you get 2 points, don't forget that always the first point is x and the second point is y. Alright, so here we are going to take the x value to be 2 and the y value to be what? 8. So x value is 2 here, then the y value will be 8. So where the 2 and the 8 are meeting, so let's say here, so this is 2, 8. Go to the next point, x, the b. So x is 2 and the b is what? 4. Alright, then let's try c. X is 8 and b is 4. So here x is 8, b is 4, something like this. Alright, then the d, x is 8 and the y is also what? 8. Okay, now let's join them with a straight line. We will get a figure. Alright, so it looks like a rectangle. Okay, now you will name it. A is 2, 8, B is what? 2, 4, our D is 8, 8, and our C is 8 and what? 4. So this is the figure, the original figure. Here, now they are saying this question, we have to draw the image of what? This is the image. A1, B1, C1, D1 is the image of this ABCD, this original figure, through a reflection in what? The y-axis, where A1 is the image of A, B1 is the image of B, C1 is the image of C, and D1 is the image of what? D. Alright, so we are not going to do anything. We are just going to use our formula to find the image. So after that, we plot the image also on the graph. So let's do justice to that. So reflection in the y-axis, we know that for reflection in the y-axis, our xy maps to what? Negative x and y. Don't forget this formula. So here we take A. A is 2, 8, and it's going to map to the image of A, which is -2, 8. So you are just going to change, only you are going to just negate the first value and the rest you just maintain it. So here to our B1 is going to be -2, 4. So our C is 8, 4. So our image of C is going to map to -8 and 4. Our D is 8, 8. So here you are going to get to -8 and 8. Alright, that is that. I'm just going to negate only the x. Now let's plot this point on the graph. So when you finish, you just plot. That's all about rigid motion. You get a point, then you plot them on the graph. So you can see that all the x values are negative and all the y values are also positive. So go to the x-axis. This is the positive x-axis, this is the negative x. So you can see for this side all x are negative, and here too for the y-axis we have the positive y-axis and we have the negative y-axis. So here you can see for this side all the y-axis are positive, and here too all the x are negative. So you can see where x is negative and y is positive, so they will form all of the points will be on this quadrant. So here A is -2, B is 8, so it's the same thing as we did for the real figure. The next one is 2 and this is 4. X is 2, y is 4. Go here, x is negative 8 here. Y is what? 4, positive 4, so somewhere here. Go here, x is negative 8. Y is what? Positive 8. So negative 8, you have positive 8. So you see, we've gotten another figure which resembles this one. So as I told you, rigid motion means when an object undergoes rigid motion, it means we are changing the position of the object without changing what? The shape. So you see, it's the same shape, but we are just changing the position. And as I told you, we can reflect, we can translate, and we can what? Rotate. So this is reflection. So we are reflecting this in the y-axis. All right. Now let me change this question. That is the next question, but because my board is too small, I will just maintain it and be changing the question like that. So we finish all the examples. So here you have to draw the image of. Now let me change my image of A2, B2, C2, and D2 of true reflection in the line. In the line y equal 2. Don't forget we did this one. So where this maps to B2, C2, D2, right? So don't forget we tried this method the other time, so don't forget. So yeah, I told you for reflection in the line y equal k, where our k is 2. You know our x, y maps to what? Our xy maps to what? Let me write it here first before I will just xy maps to x 2k minus y. X2k, this is the formula. So someone can just write it xy maps to 2x, sorry, the x will come, then 2k minus y. So let's take our a. The a is 2 and 8, right? So we are just going to maintain the 2 here, comma, then instead of 2k you can see 2, the k is what? 2, that is here 2, minus the y, which is what? 8. So this is going to give us the image of, that is a2 is going to give us 2 and what? 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 8 is negative 4. So you see, this is what it's going to give us, right? Good. So the x is positive and the y is what? The y-axis is also negative, right? Okay. So this is the first value. Let me clean this one and continue the rest here, because we are done with this one. Now let's take b. You know our b is 2 and 4, so we know this is going to be what? Let me just do it like this. This is more clearer. Maps to x. Don't forget the formula x. We are not changing the x, so x is 2 and the 2 times k, the k is 2 minus y, that is 4. I here, so you see 2k minus. All right, so here this is going to give us 2. This, let's just do it here. 2 times 2 4. 4 minus is 0, right? 4 minus 4 is 0. Now let's take c. Our c is what? 8 and 4. 8 and 4. So this is going to be, we are going to maintain the x here as the formula is x, so 8, that is the x. So we have 8, then instead of, we have 2k, k is 2 minus y, the y is what? 4. Here, so if you just write this, this is going to be 8. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 4 is 0, so 8 and 0. All right. Okay, let's do our d. Our d, we have our d to be 8 8. So 8 8. We are going to have x, which is 8, and our 2 times k, k is 2 minus y, which is 8 here. So we are going to get 8 and 2 times 2 is 4 minus 8 is negative 4, right? So this is that for the image of D, that is D2. This is C2, this is B2. Yeah, something like that. And you have our A2 also here. Now let's write everything well. Let's clean them and just write the final answer that we just got here. So here we are just going to, but let me write it this way so that I will not forget. We have our A2 here. Remember that B2 is 2 and 0, 2 and 0. So A2 is what? 2 negative 4. Our B2 is 2 and 0. Right, now let's check our C2. 8 0, 8 negative 4. So our C2 is what? 8 0, and our D2 is what? 8 negative 4. So we are done. Now you are going to plot this point. This is the image of what? The point, this point, when reflecting the line y equals 0. So here, check all the x values are positive on this quadrant here, and all the y values we are having negative, and some are even 0. So let's see where the shape will just form. Then we just write it. So here the first is 2, x is 2, y is negative 4. Here x is 2, then y is negative 4. X and y, okay, negative 4. X is 2, y is what? 0. So here x is 2, but taking the y is 0, so it's just this point. X is 8, y is 0, so on this point. But here our x is 8 and y is negative 4 here, somewhere here. You see where our figure is going to be. You get it? So this one is reflection in the what? No, sorry, I didn't label this one. So our negative 2, this is negative 2. That is this is A2, right? Negative 2, 8, and negative 2. This is B, negative 2 for other. This is B2. So this is our A2, negative 2, 8. This is our D2. Sorry, these are all ones. These are all ones. These are all ones. Negative 8 and 8. And C is what? C is negative 8 and what? 4. You see one. So here this is through the y-axis. This reflection through the y-axis. And this is the original point. This is the original what? Shape or figure. Good. And this one is through what? Reflection in the line y equal to. Alright, so that is basically what it is. So let me just change this question and give you one to see if you can try. Don't forget, sometimes they ask you reflection in the line x equal to. So, and you know how to go about that because I taught you in the formula. So that one is just going to be that formula. We are going to change the formula to 2k minus x, and here will be y. This will be the image. So they can ask all those questions. So they cannot try all. So let's go to another one. So we are just going to, now we've done reflection, one reflection. So let's take one rotation question. Through a 90 degrees clockwise rotation. So we are just taking rotation. So about the origin, we are rotating about the origin. About the origin where my A maps to A3. This is 2. Don't forget these are 2. So A2 is what? A2 is 2 negative 4. This is A2, 2 negative 4. And our B2 is 2, 2 0. And our C2 is what? 8 0. And our D2 is what? 8 negative 4. Don't forget. So we are just done. Let's rotate the point. are just going to rotate the point. So 90 degrees clockwise rotation. 90 degrees clockwise rotation. So as I told you, after that you take one translation question, and if you want to get more detailed explanation to this, you just go back to our previous video where we just explained so many points, and you can get more examples to try your hands. So here is what we did in that video, and the only difference here is that here we are just plotting them on the point. So if you watch that video very carefully, you'll be able to know how to just find the images of all the points. Then here we are just plotting them. So let's go 90 degrees clockwise rotation. For we know our x is y what negative x. So from that video we explain all these formulas. So here we are just going to make progress. A is what? 2, 8. So here we can see that our x, here we can see our x is 2 and our y is what? 8. Good. But here they are saying y is rather leading. So y is what? 8. And what? X, you are negating the x. So negative 2. So that is the formula. So here x and y. But here is y negative x. So you just write x equal this, y equal. Then you just write it as it is. And you'll be fine. Now let's go to the image of. So this one is the image of 8, 3. So 8, 3, 8, 3. Alright. You just have to change it where you see 2 to 3. Okay. Here our b is going to be 2, 4. So the image of b3. So here our x is what? 2 and our y is what? 4. So here y4 is leading. That is y. Y is leading, and what we are negating the x. So here, that is that. Now let's take our c. Our c is 8 and 4. So here our x is 8 and our y is what? 4. Sorry, 4. Okay, so here they are saying here which one is leading now? Y is rather leading. So y is leading, which is 4. Then we are negating the x, which is negative 8. I hope it's not confusing. Yes, let's try the last one. D 8, 8, 8, 8. Then the image of D3. D3, we can see that here our x is what? 8 and y is also 8. So it's just y that is leading, y is 8, and you negate x, negative 8. So that is all that we will do about rotating this point through 90 degrees clockwise. So from this we take a last example on translation. When you translate a point, as I told you, we've explained everything in our previous video. So just plotting the point on the graph is our focus for this class. So we are just going to plot. So you can see here so which one is leading. Now we have changed the point. So here these new points that we've gotten, the first ones are x and then the second one are y values. If you are plotting this on the graph, because the formula we just rotated, so we are done. So we don't have anything to do with them again. So what we are considering now is this: the images that we've gotten, the images that we have what gotten. So the images that we have now here. So now the image, the first one is x and the second one is our y value. So that's about the image. All right, so we are just going to, so you can see that all the x values are positive, positive, positive. All the x values are positive, and all the y values are what? Negative. All the y values are negative, right? So it will also be somewhere here. They get it. So I am just bringing out my new question. So that is why sometimes it will just draw into another one. But in the natural shell, the question was not supposed to be one supposed to be here, one is supposed to be here, one will come here, one will come here. But because I am setting my own question, that is why I am getting all these crashes. So here we are going to have our x to be 8. So here our x is rather 8. So go to where x is 8, and our y is going to be what? Negative 2. So x is 8, but our y is going to be negative 2 somewhere here. Go to b is 4, x is 4, and y is going to be negative 2 here. Negative 2 here. All right, I want you to follow what that I'm doing very carefully. So we go to c, x is 4, but y is what? Negative 8. So negative 8 is here. 4, negative 8 is here. Go to d, x is what? 8, and y is negative what? 8. They are meeting here. So you see where this one is also going. So can you see? When you rotate to this point at angle 90 degrees, see this one is very logical. So 90 degrees clockwise. I told you for clockwise you are just rotating it. So if the point is here, you are just taking it 90 degrees, just one. So you can see it was here, but now when you rotate it, you see it is slanting. Yes, so that is that. So this 90 degrees what? Clockwise. And I hope it's very cool. All right, let's take one example on translation and just call it a day. Let's call it a day. All right, so draw the image of, now you are going to get A4, B4, C4, and D4. Right,